Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the third round of the ARC Formula 1 Championship. It is time for the Miami Grand Prix. I know next to nothing about this circuit. The only thing that I really know about it of note is I don't like it too much, not to drive on, and there's a weird chicane under an overpass. As the literal first lap of the session is just getting underway. Christian Pacheco is the first to get out of the pit lane, so he's the first to get on aforementioned lap. We just had some update come into F122 and completely change the way the game handles, so there'll be a chance to find out how the drivers adapt to that. And you're seeing that track extension at turn 7 that is actually allowed today, as the game won't do much of anything to police it, and as such, the mod team has deemed it not our problem. If the game's not going to do anything about it, we're not going to either, because we're not going to try and stop 18 people from extending one corner. I can only have the camera on one car at once. Maybe if EA could program some track limits that made sense, it wouldn't be a problem in the first place. Anyhow, tirade over. Christian Pacheco is coming to the end of his qualifying lap. He has one more corner to make. On a second go around, I will attempt to give some tour of this circuit with my incredibly limited knowledge of its layout. It's going to be very on the cusp, sort of on the fly type of thing. The first lap of the session will be a 28.54 from the Alfa Romeo driver. I have no idea who's finishing next. Looks like Luke Allen might be one of them. No, it's Marion with a 27.8. Immediately the stakes are raised. Braden Sisko reserving for HRT with a 29 flat on his first try. Luke Allen, I can only assume, made an error. And Gabe Gazzola definitely made an error. Oh, come on.
And then I forgot to snap it, so hold on.
You have to bear with this one.
I mean, nothing even.
Bear with me here. We have a parent who can't count to 7. As we're right on board with Francis Ferrand as he makes his way through Sector 1 of the circuit. For a second I thought that was his teammate off track there. Nope, that's an AlphaTauri. Other laps that were put in while the incredibly loud phone call entered the domain. Jackson Altman with a 28.62. Travis Van Nistelrooy with a 29.22. Billy Targi with 30.21. And Itcha Kaneko with whatever that is. He's apparently running Azerbaijan right now, not Miami. And there is Ethan Fonseca running his first lap, and it's a 27.47, so 3.5 tenths above everybody else. Michael Ludenslager, crucially, is not here, and he's probably one of the biggest guys who can really compete with him. Obviously, anything can happen in an F1 Grand Prix, but Ethan Fonseca's race just got a lot easier with that guy not here. 28.45 for Francis. A second off pole, but still second row. What's that saying? Tyler Crabtree with a 28.49 for Aston Martin. That's a lap time they would only hope. They would only dream of running in real life. Adam Pelk and Kyler Boggs finished their laps at roughly the same time and ran roughly the same lap. 29 flats for both. Why'd I go this way? Looks like AJ's maybe gonna try a lap here? I can't even tell. No, he's not. His battery's not draining all that Is it? I don't know. I'm gonna look at somebody who I know is about to be on one. I'm gonna... No, I'll just follow Christian Pacheco again. I'll be waiting a minute, but he'll be the one we'll ride along with for the, like the tour of the circuit thing. I don't understand how that weird low revs thing hasn't been dealt with. Excuse me, I have a bit of build-up in my throat. I would get up and spit it out, but I have to commentate qualifying. So here comes Pacheco around to begin his next lap. And he will be the tour guide for a lap of the Miami Street Circuit. Turn 1 is a regular braking zone. Pretty heavy, it's a standard for turn 1. Turn 2, weird S section for turns 2 and 3. Turn 4 is trying to be like the chicanes at Abu Dhabi, as Yas Marina. A bit of traffic, oh my word. Turn 6 and 7, this long, sweeping left. Not sleeping, the corner's not awake. DRS straight, which, like the Saudi Arabia straights, are not straight. I do believe Christian Pacheco is trying to cheese out with low wings again, as he's gonna hit like well over 210, hitting to the next incredibly sharp left-hand turn. Matthew Stotts has been disqualified for being parked somewhere. I don't even see where that could be. And Christian's gonna encounter an Alpine at the chicane, and that's gonna mess him up. Here's somebody you can quickly switch to get that chicane in. Not you, you're not there. AJ was the Alpine that was in the way. I just missed you. If I had been like a couple seconds quicker on that, I'd have been fine. Who's that Ferrari? They're not on a lap. Son of a gun. There's a Merc. That's not a lap either. Curses! Nobody's on a lap. Something moved. Johnny Parker just finished the lap. Okay, so somebody was. He ran a 28:48. Marion should do. He's not out of the chicane yet, but maybe he won't be running a lap, as that Alfa Romeo just did not get out of the way much. Yeah, that's an abandoned run right there. Oh, our pole sitter right now. Ethan Fonseca, he should be able to get through here. I don't know why I didn't wait for him to do it in the first place. Like, he wouldn't be the fastest. Like I wouldn't be probably spectating the professional lap, too. He doesn't even need your track limit exploits. He just takes the corner like a normal person, and he still runs a purple sector. Get the DRS trigger up to the fake Vietnam roundabout section, because that's basically what this is, and I will hear no arguments to the contrary. It's a little slower. And then we have the underpass chicane. Don't even think about braking in a straight line, it's not wide enough. And beyond that, it's basically Monza turn 3. And then you have the exit onto the back straight. There will be a decent number of overtaking opportunities at the circuit, seeing as there are 3 DRS zones and they all lead to heavy braking zones. Unlike some tracks, where you either don't have very many DRS zones, or you have DRS zones that don't lead to passing corners. i.e. Australia Turn 1. A 27:29, that's the new provisional pole lap. And his friend does not manage to top it. Tyler Crabtree is on his way around the circuit. We'll see what he can manage as he runs around the course. I do not believe this is his first lap on these tires, based on the fact that he's got a little bit of battery consumed. Kyler Boggs moves to a 28:21, jumping just ahead of his Mercedes teammate. Crabtree is in first gear through the chicane. On this game's traction management, that is risky right there. But it worked, he didn't loop it, and he hooked all the chicane right. It's like some weird hybrid between the now defunct triple chicane at Abu Dhabi and Monza Turn 3. Forgot the actual name. Crabtree will head up to the line. He will get a 28 flat. Whoa! Crabtree must have been putting in the hours on time trial this week. He is really punching above his weight class here. He's normally an upper midfielder, but today he's looking like the second coming of Sebastian Vettel, but like the 2011 Sebastian Vettel, not 2020. And Adam Pelk with no improvement. This is me again. I sometimes feel like I make more noise trying to reach for the mute button on my mic than I would make if I just coughed. As we were on board with Travis Van Oostendorp, I watched, I believe it was him, it might have been his teammate, some AlphaTauri spun while I was being invaded by parenthood. That sounded weird. And hooks it through turn 7. Ultimately, I wouldn't even have called that an extension under normal terms. He left 2 tires on the circuit, so... Definitely in auto gears as he makes his way through the technical tight section. How much do you dare hook that curb without getting penalized or getting a spin? That is what determines how quick you are through that section. Purple Sector 2, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't think that was purple. I just know how this game likes to do things with that idea, and it doesn't usually work. Saw a yellow board, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to slow down for it here like in real life. It should certainly be an improvement. It'll be a 28:70 for Van Oostendorp in the AlphaTauri. Right into the very middle of the grid. Braden Sisko has retired from the session. Oh, he was on front stretch. A lot of guys really waiting to the exact last minute to exit the pits here. I think you basically got to get out of the pits by minute 40, minute 50 to complete your outlap and not body yourself. And well, those Alpines must be done with their session. There's no way they're getting back out in time. Especially not when they're double stacking, so that's going to be a really just disastrous qualifying session for the whole of Team SLP 44. As I'm gonna get invaded again. I can hear that phone from here.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, what would I do if I didn't have a mute button on this microphone, ladies and gentlemen? Oh! he's Newville chicaned himself. Clotheslined himself on the inside. Okay, well, good thing I caught Ryan. He's gonna have one chance to take pull away. Ryan, last name. Forgive me, you're like the one last name I haven't been educated on. Will have his one opportunity to beat a 27-291 to claim pull after Ethan Fonseca's critical mistake. I put the UI down and everything because I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the pull lap. This is Ethan Fonseca, and we're at the tail end of the session. But but there's a tail end of something involved, but it's he got the tail end of his car, not the tail end of the session. Meanwhile, in the background, Francis Farren moves to a 28 flat, just barely jumping over Tyler Crabtree. And Johnny Parker, I seen the leaderboard, had a lap going, but abandoned it. Kyler Boggs still... Oh, that's too much curb. Okay, well, we will switch now to Kyler Boggs. Also, Christian Pacheco is about to finish the lap. We'll snap to him. No improvement. Or at least, he improved, but he didn't go up a place. As here comes Kyler Boggs down the final straightaway. I do not believe he'll be getting any sort of tow from that Red Bull, not from here. There's a bit of a conniption going on up here. The Red Bull just gets out of Boggs' way, but he doesn't quite make the apex of the last turn. He gets up to the line, and it will not be an improvement, and it will instead be a destroyed Pirelli tire. What did that tire do to you? And that is the session once the game does that. Or he retires, that'll work too. So despite Fonseca's crash on his last qualifying attempt, he still grabbed the pole position as nobody managed to beat it. Nobody even made a really good final lap. Except for Francis Farren, and actually that's it. That's all that I noticed. So we still will be using broadcast formation lap. That's not enough time. I'll just scroll through. Definitely the big losers of qualifying are Team Alpine here. Big winners of qualifying, other than the obvious ones that are always at the top, would definitely be Tyler Crabtree and Johnny Parker, who rarely ever even sets a lap time in qualifying. As, yeah. It's time to... With all due respect, Google, I'm about to do some driving. No. When the game loads, we are, anyway. There's a stretch routine in, apparently. There's something. The formation lap is about to finally begin. But it's not going to be much of a formation lap for anybody else, because the game does it for us now. But we have Crofty take over, so I can shut my face. Or at least I thought we were. Well, I guess if we're not, then I'll try and go through the starting grid. So, we have Ethan Fonseca, Marion in the McLaren. I need to learn your last name. Francis Ferrand, Tyler Crabtree, Johnny Parker, Kyler Boggs, Christian Pacheco with his like 1-3 wings probably. Jackson Altman, Adam Pelk, Travis Van Oostendorp, Billy Targi, Braden Sisko. Nope, this is Carter Ritchie. This is Billy Targi. They joined the league at the same time, and I sometimes get them confused a tiny bit. AJ Knickel and Luke Allen, two Alpines way in the back, but this is a street circuit, so crashes will happen in just a matter of not being in them. Gabe Cazola, Kieran Kevern, Matthew Stotts, who got disqualified, and Al Hazmi and the Williams, who joined late. I could have sworn there was a rule against that now. I must be thinking of the other league that I'm in. But, regardless, he is here, so we're risking a lot of bugs here because as people are getting disqualified from the formation lap. I've heard there was a bug on the immersive formation lap, and I also heard there can be bugs if you join the race in the middle of qualifying. So honestly, there can be bugs the second you start the game. You know, it's just kind of a risk you always run on this title. It's not even an act like it's not. The 5 red lights are gone, and we are green for the Miami Grand Prix. Everybody ghosted for a second there. That was bizarre. Looks like they're 4 wide back there as we head towards 1. Ethan Fonseca gets in clean, but I'm more concerned about what's in the mid-pack because that's where all the incidents are going to be if there are any. It's all jumbled mess as we head through, well, Miami City traffic. Let's be real here. Looks like I think it was a green board, so they must be clear up ahead. Yeah, it seems like everyone got through the first lap pretty well. We do have a battle for position here. I'd have to assume this is Crabtree versus Kyler Boggs for somewhere in the low to mid pack. Up ahead, we saw a dive bomb from ooh, that's not a lot of space given by Marion to... That must be this is the battle for the lead. Marion has snuck through with some dodgy racecraft, pushing Fonseca off just about twice in one sector. And now we get onto the back straightaway. So, does the slipstream give Fonseca a fighting chance? It looks like it will, as we've got a 2-wide battle behind them. Now it's a pass for the lead, 2 in the making. Will Fonseca be braver on the brakes? Boggs gets up to 3rd behind them. Fonseca does get back clear of the McLaren, so he will just about retain the lead on this first lap. It doesn't bring up the position change, and the only thing of note is Johnny Parker fell hard. Doesn't seem like he must not have been very damaged, or if he is, he doesn't care, because he's not pitting. Big gains already for AJ Knickel, up to 8th. It's like that terrible qualifying session never happened, you know? We just pretend it never happened, and it'll just go away. There is yellow on the circuit. I'm trying to look at the map. It looks like Matthew Stotts. He's done the spin part. Can he win, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't even notice Marion took the lead back from Fonseca. Fonseca dive bombs, gives him a taste of his own medicine. And here comes Francis. Almost called him Kyler. I was calling him Kyler earlier, my mistake. And now he's running Fonseca off the circuit a little bit. And Francis will get up to P2 with his more elbows out driving. Christian Pacheco is getting into the party now. There's a green flag? What's happened? Oh. Kieran Kevern had spun. He did make up a lot of places on that first lap, but now they have all gone. Ethan Fonseca has been overtaken by Pacheco. He's under threat from Crabtree. He's had a nightmare, wow, let me try that again, folks. He's had a series of unfortunate events heading on these first 2 laps. And by that I actually just mean he's being used like a bath towel every time we get into a tight corner. Which, it's a street circuit, so they're all tight corners, pretty much. Christian Pacheco is... His existence terrifies me on this track because he's running such low downforce, and he's keeping pace. Somebody else is spun back here. It is Luke Allen. Went around somewhere. I just saw him shuffle down the leaderboard, so I can only assume that that happened. The yellow was him. He doesn't quite have the closing speed. Where is my telemetry game? Give that back. Lap 3, so DRS will be in play as we head on to this final straightaway. This is the back... There's technically 2 back straights. Which one is it then? I guess it's front straight, back straight, final straight. The closing speed. Oh my god, the closing speed. 216 at the braking zone. And Francis just sends it back on Pacheco. You could have just said Christian Raker. That's definitely his name. Another DRS zone. Will Ferrand defend this time as the fastest lap of the race is run by the Alfa Romeo driver? Mostly clean driving there. No, I mean, they wouldn't look at that for a penalty. Oh, but that's too much curb, not enough downforce, and around goes the Alfa Romeo. Ghosting's on, so he's free to whip a UE and continue. And with that, Fonseca's at least back to the podium positions. And looking probably to take back some of his stolen property, as it were. Meanwhile, AJ and Travis are battling for turn 7. Neither one got DRS assistance as they were side by side at the detection. Never mind, AJ got it, and he was already ahead before we got there, because he had a much better exit from 7. A caution is somewhere, I believe, what the heck. This is Boggs versus Crabtree. Crabtree just kind of lets that go, I think. I don't know who was the defending car, but Crabtree decides better to focus on the next chicane than to try and fight him through it. Could have been a wise decision, but he had a rough exit from the last part of it. He might still have a slim chance at him here. The amount of slipstream, he doesn't go for it. He probably could have if he really wanted to, but he's got more straightaways, you know? Just now, Marion grabs the fastest lap back from the Alfa Romeo. And a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. What did he do that did that? That seems a little much. He is out of the race. The game electing to not tell me of this development. I only saw on the leaderboard that he was out. I don't know what just happened with Kieran Keverin in the Haas, but he has he's been wiped from history apparently. The game's just like, he doesn't matter. Blacklists. There's the DRS. Kyler is just getting huge exits, though. Crabtree is hard-pressed to contend. He's going to have another huge run, but there's nowhere to go with it because he's not close enough. Meanwhile, behind this, Jackson Altman has caught up. AJ Knickel versus Pacheco into Sector 2. Knickel with his elbows out, and that's a DNF? Oh! How'd that just happen? His left front's gone. Did this like snipe his wheel? I think Knickel just sniped Pacheco's wheel or something. And so there's our first noted DNF. The game didn't actually tell me about that. I just again looked at the leaderboard and we are under safety car. Yeah, I had to look on the map. Yes, we are under a safety car. Following that puzzling impact, Crabtree gave Kyler Boggs a bit of a high five into the pit lane. It's only a penalty if you make him speed, but you kind of get a bit of an idiot penalty if you broke your wing off doing that. Either he didn't break it off, or he did, but he couldn't manually tell the pit crew to fix it in time. Somebody I think I vaguely remember is excited for this DNF. I mean, yeah, for anybody with high wings at this track, that probably is a dub, considering Christian's running around looking like a dragster. I mean, 217, mind you, we've seen other cars get close to that. Tyler Crabtree, for instance, at 215, I believe. Looks like it's a 50-50 split between pit or unpit. Unpit, not pit. Only or unholy. I don't know. I get a little crazy when there's a safety car because there's nothing to cover. It's just people doing the speed limit. It's like we've now become the crew, or Speed Heat or something. I don't know. Ah. As via not pitting, Fonseca is the leader again, but Travis Van Oostendorp and Adam Pelk are up there with him. Ryan dropped to 4th with his pit stop, and Francis Ferrand to 6th. Parker, following his terrible lap 1, has used this caution span to put himself back on the map, as it were. Boggs must have had damage from elsewhere, as he is now in 15th place. I can actually look at that. Why am I acting okay? Thank you, game, for that. Okay, no, the only pit stop for a front wing was for the Red Bull of Carter Ritchie. Fittingly, he is in last place, so it all checks out there. Oh wait, no, I know who that is in the chat now. I'm a fool. I do not believe the field is here. The field is very close to here. We might go in this lap, but I'm not sure. We have passed the final sector line. But the field is here. Okay, we are going in this lap. It's been a very delayed announcement. Let's keep my my camera on the leader to survey their speed. The safety car speed, that. Oh my god. Apologies, my brain just encountered an error and needed to restart there. As out of the last turn, he does not... Yep, nope, he is flooring it now. It's not on the screen. There they go. There go the leaders, heading up towards the start to get back to green flag running. And immediately there's a McLaren ducking in and out of line to try and see if there are any overtaking opportunities. The first one of note, Francis Ferrand gets ahead of the Williams of Billy Targi. There's a Red Bull off to the side. Adam Pelk stricken in some meaningful way. Tyler Crabtree is around, so from 0 to 0 for him, following that safety car pit stop. Could have just gone for track position. That's usually the golden rule, especially in ARC. Ask me how the heck I know. No DRS assistance at the moment. I think I know exactly where to put my camera right now, as AJ Knickel gets to the outside of the McLaren of Jackson Altman, and Altman does not resist. There wasn't much point in it, but Knickel goes wide at the next braking zone, and so Altman will be back into position anyway. Bring it back to position change. Richie with a penalty. I've once again received information from a race engineer, as AJ Knickel thought about an overtake, but reverted, as this is quite an enclosed train. He will get a good exit off the McLaren, and he will storm back ahead into 11th. So, I was partially right. AJ with the not correct braking zone. I suppose we will probably eliminate that, because he had to either cut the corner or cut somebody's front wing off, and, well, if you're about to hit a car, don't. Simple rule. As Kyler Boggs got ahead of Jackson Altman in the chaos. Race engineer has told me Christian and AJ make contact. Christian spins Van Nistelrooy with nowhere to go. Knocked Christian's front wheel off, but miraculously, the AlphaTauri himself picked up no damage. So that's the EA damage model for you there. You knock somebody's wheel off with your entire vehicle, but you don't get any damage to yours. So, literal burnout moment. Takedown. And yes, I do know I am still back here for a reason. Anybody who's been in AF1 or been around the block enough will probably know exactly why that is. If you know, you know. Looks like I saw a position change here. I don't know why. Marion is going to attempt to outdrag AlphaTauri. That's what that is. For some reason I was like, wait, is that a Toro Rosso? Riker, what year is this? No, Van Nistelrooy entirely misses turn 1. Runs the McLaren out of circuit. And, that was not pretty. AJ Knickel got back ahead of Altman for the 3rd time in a handful of laps. Ooh, whoa. Don't like those curbs, and Altman gets back ahead of the Alpine driver again. No, this is just a human comedy right here. AJ will slipstream battery DRS. He will pass Jackson Altman once again. That'll do it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Who do I sound like? The NASCAR guys will kind of know, maybe. I don't know. Ahaz, when he gets ahead of Gabe Cazola, AJ Knickel with just another series of unfortunate events. He goes around at what I believe to be turn 9 or 10, and he's demoted to second last. He was talking earlier about how he believes this update definitely crippled his ability to drive. As we have the dragster of the Aston Martin. Oh my god, 218. He could have gone for that, man. Oh, that one hurt. Billy Targi is defending from Braden Sisko. Just about kisses that apex, but he can't keep the Ferrari contained. Gabe Cazola gets a penalty, and he finds himself under threat from Kyler Boggs. As, meanwhile... Whoa! That looked like some invisible kid's hand playing with his Hot Wheels car. It's just like, oh, turn the car! Whee! Oh, crash! And Jackson Altman lost traction. Matthew Stotts had a panic attack and just drove into it. I guess he probably expected Jackson Altman would have saved the car, but when he didn't, he didn't account for the timeline where he couldn't. AJ Knickel gets ahead of his teammate. He's back to P13, and he loops it again, and he about Nouvelle chicanes himself. Yeah, I can, I can see where AJ may be coming from by claiming that he doesn't feel like he is one with the car. He's kind of more one with the backwards car at the moment. Johnny Parker will grab P4 from Van Oostendorp. Thought I saw somebody in the mirrors, but that is literally impossible. The next car is 4.5 seconds away. It just got a lot closer as Van Oostendorp loses control through turn 4. I need a track map. I really should bring that up, but I have the stream running on my tablet instead. Jackson Altman also spun. AJ and Stotts through the S's, both of them using all of the circuit and then some to try and not hit each other more than anything. We don't want a Norris Gasly incident now, do we? Stotts battery dumping, but AJ with DRS. I do not think there will be a pass here. Crabtree is very close to Gabe now as we head down to the back straightaway, or final straightaway. We're going to see more of the Aston Martin dragster in action as we head up to the last turn. Yeah, battery, DRS, already 200. There's just nothing. Whatever's set up, well, didn't exactly help. Gabe was out of battery, so he could do even less to stop that Aston Martin. He has DRS here. He dumps what battery he does have, but it doesn't mean much when you've got 3%. I'm definitely noticing a lot of cars are really unsettled through turn 4. Or that is 3, I don't even know. Basically just most of Sector 1, the cars just kind of seem like they could just, like, have a seizure and die any minute. At this point, do we even continue to show this on the stream? He gets a penalty while attempting to recover from a spin. Because that seems just fair. Let's look at the tires everybody's on. Pretty much all hard tires. Richie and AJ are on mediums. But yeah, it's basically just hard tires of different ages going on. I think everybody who's started, anybody who's stopped so far in this race, probably started on the medium compound and just pit onto the hards. So, anybody who pit there probably wants to go to the end of the race. I don't know how viable that is, mainly because I've never tried. I've never actually raced a GP here before. And I feel like it'll be a while before I do, because I can't stand driving on this game. That's why I commentate, because I find it more enjoyable than trying to drive. Crabtree uses all of turn 7. As Matthew Stott spins going through 6 and 7. I again will not bring it up on the stream, just mention it on the leaderboard. AJ with yet more time penalties. Billy versus Travis. I think this is Travis on defense, but he could not defend. Tarji sneaks through, but he goes wide of the chicane. Travis takes full advantage. Another crossover from the Williams driver. Who has DRS here? I can't even tell anymore. It'll be the Williams. And also Kyler Boggs, who is distantly in this picture, but he has no battery. So the Williams will end up victorious. Van Nistelrooy moves in the braking zone. Lucky that he doesn't get plowed by the Mercedes for that. Nickel outdrags Matthew Stotts heading towards the final turn. We have more battling. Van Nistelrooy versus Boggs. Oh, get a wheel on him! Oh boy, that's unfortunate. That's just I mean, that's on Travis, but just the shape of the circuit there, I don't really know if you can call that a penalty. At least I think that might be on Travis, the same way that Hamilton was blamed for Silverstone last year. He wasn't all the way at the apex, I don't think. But that's just the shape of the corners. You don't want to be completely gliding over the apex. You want to kind of point the car out a little bit to, you know, make the next turn. It's not the most viable option when there's somebody else there, though. However, the fact that Van Nistelrooy defended his position via that moment might be looked at slightly differently. I don't know. I'm commentating. Stewarding comes tomorrow. As Crabtree is working on getting back up. No, he was never there. He was never at that Williams. I mean, he kind of was. For the safety car and all that. Regardless, Crabtree is working on catching that Williams ahead. Billy Targi. He's got DRS in play, just needs to put down good laps. Or a really good turn 1. A really good sector 1, I mean. And be nearby at the next DRS train. Not train, trigger! Oh my god. I would say Fonseca is cruising right now, as I swear to God I thought that Billy was going around there. I would say it's a leisurely cruise for Fonseca at the moment, but the truth is he hasn't pit yet. Whereas the cars behind him, I believe, have. Well, 2 of them have, yeah. Marion and Francis have both pit. He hasn't. So, ultimately, he's not really the net leader at the moment. As we have yet another spin. And it's another spin for... Oh, that's Gabe Cazola. He's DNF'd. I had to open my mouth. And now suddenly here's Fonseca's opportunity to make the pit lane. I think probably, my guess, Cazola probably found a curb through 4 and 5 and just spun into the inside wall. When in doubt, probably a curb. My throat is beginning to get a little sore. In the interest of me being able to finish this commentary, I'll be back in a moment. I have to get another bottle of water so that I, you know, am not in mortal pain while trying to broadcast this race. We're under safety car. What else am I going to be missing? I can just comment on any pit stops made as Crabtree gets a speeding penalty. Just constantly bringing him back down. And this is...
Heard that.
Water bottle acquired. Parental trash talking overheard. And I'm back. The safety car's not in this lap, so I, my throat's not happy. Need a drink. I never... To anyone questioning, commentators usually have drinks next to them. Heck, if you're a NASCAR commentator, you get a glass of Coca-Cola. As Crabtree chooses to serve his time penalty now, but you can't stop without changing tires, so now he'll have to go to the end on soft, so he'll probably be the only person that's having to do this. Not quite. His teammate and Adam Pelk are on soft tires. That's not ideal, to say the least. There's everybody else on. I assume, yeah, everybody else is going to the end from here. There's no two ways about it. And now suddenly Fonseca has gone from being on the back foot from pit strategy to literally having a free victory if he doesn't get turned. You know, like last week. Did I say that out loud? My bad. We do a bit of trolling here in the commentary booth. Just some keep being occupied under the safety car. As we are absolutely not going in this lap. There are multiple cars that are not in the train. Or queue, or whatever. As the third and I assume last safety car lap gets run. I think the biggest places to keep your eye are probably on Crabtree, as he'll have to make another recovery, and on, well, Parker and Fonseca. Fonseca because he's obviously the one with the hot hand, but Parker has no penalties. And they're both going to have better tires than the two leaders. So it's going to be, you know, a game of defense for Francis and for Marion. If Boggs can play spoiler for Francis, it'll be obviously very helpful, but his tires are just as dead as Francis's are. Francis's. So no real guarantees on that. Alternatively, Braden Sisko has much fresher tires. He could attempt to play spoiler for Fonseca and keep Johnny Parker at bay for at least a lap or two. Might help massively, or at the very least, keep Kyler Boggs out of play. As AJ Knickel is not here, so the safety car does not care, it'll go in this lap anyway. So we have a swerving package of Skittles moving their way down towards the last turn on the circuit. Almost looks like we're doubling up back there. This isn't NASCAR, guys. And Marion got loose on his attempt to make the restart. Or he oversteered, he snapped, there we go. And Francis wanted to take full advantage, but he could not. He will at least keep Fonseca behind, so it's softs versus... No, it's mediums versus hards. Fonseca's gonna try the hard way. Francis plays some pinball. And he gets the elbows out against Fonseca. So you'll have to back out or die. He sends it down into 7. Francis responds with the crossover. And that is some close action. Johnny Parker's got the best seat in the darn house back here. But not for long, as here comes Kyler Boggs with increased top speed. Francis, speaking of increased top speed, gets back ahead of Fonseca, who dives it into this corner and just absolutely barges Francis off the track. Parker now chooses this moment to get involved, but Francis gets back into P2 anyway. How did that just happen? How did he get back there? What? I don't know how that just took place, but here we are. Fonseca will have another go at the Mercedes driver. All this just looks absolutely paradise to the McLaren driver that's just running away at the moment. If I'm Francis, I think to myself, you know, I can battle this car with fresher tires for P2. Or I could let him go. He'll catch the leader, and I can just take second from the McLaren when he gets there. Yeah, but yo, there's a car that's currently off trying to find Tampa Bay. It is Al-Hazmi, miles in the runoff. Is this a virtual, or is this a full? It's a full. I don't feel like a full is necessary for a car so far off the circuit they're in another zip code, but... And has also just been disqualified for being parked out there, so that's fair and balanced gameplay. Thank you, Codemasters, for not knowing what in the name of God you are doing. So... Do the hard tires pit for softs here? Because softs definitely go from here. I think honestly, if you're pretty much anybody that isn't like Parker, Braden, or Fonseca, you probably pit here for soft tires. Maybe 50-50 if you already have them, but I think even guys like... Well, obviously anybody on hard tires would be foolish not to, I would say. But even cars like Stotts, Knickel, and Richie, you're already in the back anyway. You might as well be in the back with the freshest tires. And even like somebody like Tarji or Allen, they don't have much wear in those mediums. They're not bad at the moment, but if the cars around you do it, you might as well do it. But apparently I'm just dead wrong, as the two that I said go in, the two medium tires, or at least just Allen does. Allen, Crabtree, and Van Dusendorp pit, but none of the leaders do. I suppose that's the value of track position. This is why I'm commentating, not racing. As I've let my throat basically cool down. I'm like having overheating issues with my throat. Basically, the sit rep remains the same. They're just gonna have less laps for it to pan out. As now the entire back half of the field is on the soft tires, so I have to like write a sticky note on the darn wall at this point. I still think if you're Johnny Parker, you're probably in the catbird seat here. Those hard tires are not going to have much speed. Fonseca is going to have a lot of speed, but he also has at least 3 seconds of time penalties. Exactly that. And so, Parker's on for almost a certain podium, unless he gets defended by Francis. I've seen some defense from him in the past. We all have. As the safety car will not go in this lap, courtesy of Jackson Altman being 10 seconds behind. Might even be something at play from Jolt Racing to minimize the number of laps run under green to try and keep them at lead McLaren. I can't help but notice that we're waiting for McLaren while McLaren is also leading the safety car queue. I don't want to be that guy, but Jackson caught awfully fast as soon as we were past the line. So I'm thinking perhaps there was some sneaky things at play to take a lap off of the green flag run to try and keep Marion in the lead. As now we are definitely going. There's absolutely no way we're not. Unless you somehow mean to tell me that... Well, that just absolutely botched Francis there. I believe he just spun on his own. He got Ericssoned. Altman gave the place back. I guess he was considered going forward by that point. That's gotta be a crushing defeat right there. Running in the top 5, probably finishing there. Maybe he was tagged, I don't know. I'm sure I will know later if he was, but at the moment all I can guess is that he just tried to warm up the tires too much. And so the safety car is on its way into the pit lane. And we are going to have a 5-lapper to decide the victor here in Miami. Ryan is waiting for a significant amount of time. He now finally goes, as we're just about at the timing line. But Fonseca was ready. And, oh, Mariah has botched himself. How does he rejoin? He rejoins just about well enough. Parker gives him space to do so. Crabtree already recovering well, up to P8. Almost just goes right through an Alpine ahead of him. And Fonseca is clear for takeoff. He will be greatly benefited that Parker will help try and keep Mariah behind him. He doesn't run his teammates' crazy dragster setup, so he's at a top speed disadvantage versus the McLaren driver. Are they 3 there? I think they just were, and they might... Pelt gets absolutely larcened. Larson? That's not what that means, Riker. Come on. AJ and Crabtree commit Grand Theft position. And AJ will then out-drag the Ferrari down the back straight. I'm sure Crabtree... Oh, I thought he'd be closer with the nitrous he's got in that car, but nope. However, AJ has found himself crossed up at the apex. And Briscoe? Really? Braden Sisko gets back to the lead. Ah yes, Chase Briscoe is in an F1 car, Riker. Come on. Commentary's like the one thing you're good at. Stop screwing it up. The battle for the lead is going to basically be a matter of time, quite literally, as AJ panics and attempts to escape death. He almost tags Crabtree on his return flight. And suddenly, what is that penalty? Only 3, so... Well, the safety car's not helping that, but for all we know, that penalty might not actually be a thing. It might be Bo. It might be Boosh. I will say Bosch. No, it's not a brake brand. Or Bosch doesn't do Bosch, I don't know. Cisco has caught the Mercedes ahead. Fresher tires, softer tires. Travis and Stotts grab penalties heading through that chicane. Oh, right. No DRS yet. This is all just sheer top speed, and oh boy, Crabtree has that. By the time we get there next, DRS will be in play. More positions being shuffled around. Francis has at least recovered himself into points, barring Travis's, Travis has something to say about it, though. But not much. He put up a small fight, but he could not resist. I thought I saw Braden twitch there. As Jackson Altman in the back is around, but there's more to look at here in the mid-pack. As Kyler's got 2 angry cars attempting to take P4 from him. Crabtree sneaks on the outside of Braden. He might get both, actually, with that immense top speed. Squeezes through on the inside. He will. Crabtree with a smooth double overtake to get back to 4th place where he started the Grand Prix. He will have to contend with the DRS straight to stay there, as we have a yellow further back. Luke Allen is around. Crabtree will not be within slipstream range of that McLaren. Not right now, and probably not in time, as we are coming to 2 laps to go for Ethan Fonseca. As Johnny Parker desperately trying to cling on to within 3 seconds. If he can stay there, he is technically the winner. Unofficial. Again, you never know when a penalty might be you know, unfair. Oh! Close quarters combat between AJ and Braden heading through Sector 1. Braden heroically shoots on the outside of 4. That's That's not even pressure tires! Oh. Synchronized spins between Travis and AJ. AJ recovers faster. Very few drivers have any battery left to speak of. Braden Sisko's not in a terrible spot. He might have bogs here, but he doesn't have enough battery to push the issue. A small run, but it will not supplement. As we begin the last lap of the GP, and Parker's still just desperately clinging on. Fonseca just ticked off the fastest lap of the race to try and grab this victory. We can watch the battle for the lead with our eyes, or we can watch the battle for the lead on the leaderboard, and watch the battle for P5 on the circuit. Sisko just got a huge run through 7. Now suddenly Kyler Boggs is in the danger zone. There's the beep. Neither driver has battery left to speak of. But Sisko's gonna have DRS and slipstream. It's gonna come down to this braking zone. Boggs braver under brakes. Sisko braver under cornering, and he's gonna sneak through on the outside, which becomes the inside. So Braden Sisko is gonna sneak back to 5th place as a reserve driver. Probably doing better than either of the full-timers. And that'll pretty much seal that deal. We're gonna have one more corner to go to determine who is the victor. Looks like not a great exit for Parker. Ethan Fonseca, 1, 2, 3, will be the winner in Miami. Parker with 2nd place, and Marion manages to barely hold on for the final podium position. Crabtree 4th on track, 5th in the overall standings, assuming that penalty is not revoked somehow, which I didn't see any of the warnings, so I don't know yet. And as of now, the final points go to Travis Van Oostendorp. Crabtree got 5th over Francis by .032. Jackson Altman does steal away the fastest lap from Fonseca, so that'll do a little bit to assist with McLaren's point standings, or at the very least keep Ferrari nearby. Jackson Altman will not score a point for that, as the game gives Matthew Stocks driver of the day. I don't know if I agree with that. He didn't even score. But, yeah, Fonseca gets street circuit redemption after, getting folded like a beach towel at Saudi Arabia. Gets the dub here at Miami over Johnny Parker and Marion. I think this is the first time I'm gonna actually attempt to pick driver of the day. I don't usually take much stock in it, but there are actual candidates this time around. You could look at Braden Sisko, the reserve driver, going from 12th to 5th on track, 7th after a penalty I don't see popping up there, so I'm not really... Did I miss something? But I think with the roller coaster Tyler Crabtree had, starting 4th, spinning under a safety car, getting back to 5th after that, and the overtakes he made puts him up there for my pick for driver of the day. Also, Johnny Parker managing P2 from 5th on the grid and not making any mistakes, just not having the speed. He could probably be the second contestant. But that'll be it for this broadcast. Next week, I believe, should be Imola. Without Portugal on the calendar. No, is it on the game? I don't remember. I think Imola should be next, but I also said that last week, and oh, it was Miami. Surprise! But, yeah, that'll conclude matters here for the third round of the championship. Until next week, farewell.